What's going on, folks? It's Rod with Pow Group. Today is Friday, October 9th. Welcome back on The Pursuit of Wealth. And in today's video, we're just going to do a quick video today. I'm actually traveling at the moment, traveling across beautiful British Columbia, currently in Kamloops, and probably going to stop at a few cities along the way. And that's the benefit of being able to, have financial independence and freedom and being able to work from anywhere and trade anywhere where there's an internet connection. So not sure where we'll end up next, but ultimately think we'll end up in Vancouver and see how everything goes. But I hope everyone had a great week and has a great weekend. We'll keep this video a little shorter. So just going to jump through a couple news articles here real quick. So Trump raised the stimulus offer to 1.8 trillion. And we saw that the Democrats offered 2.2 trillion. So Mnuchin and Pelosi are scheduled to have more talks this afternoon or this evening. So we should hear an update any minute now, really. So getting pretty frustrating. We keep seeing all these contradictory articles. 1 minute the talks are off, 1 minute they're back on. And it's in my opinion, it's a way for them to keep the market going higher into the election, and it looks better on the Trump administration the higher the stock market goes into the election. So it makes sense that they're trying to just prolong this and say, oh, no deal, right? So deal or no deal is basically the moral of the story here. But we did see that the Ontario government released an update as well. So they're tightening restrictions in Ottawa, Peel, and Toronto regions, and they said that it's to be in place for at least a month, and they lowered the social gathering limits, and they also are telling gyms, movie theaters, and casinos to be closed. So they're going to have to close up, and indoor dining to be closed as well. And schools and places of worship will remain open. But there was another article here I saw from TGI Friday's CEO who said restaurants are dropping like flies, and now we're seeing the Canadian government shut down restaurants again. It's going to get really interesting over the next few weeks into the election, especially with all the uncertainty from the global sickness that we're currently experiencing. So it's going to be a crazy few weeks. It's already been very, very turbulent and very hard on the head the last few weeks, not going to lie. It hasn't been easy trading. And for those of you that have traded throughout the summer, you probably thought trading was a breeze, but this is honestly what it's like. And I wanted to highlight something on Bitcoin as well. Just looking at this could be a potential BART forming here. So we would look to see something like this, where we just basically go sideways and then we didn't form any support on the way up. So then we usually just BART pattern and then give up the entire move. So we'll see if that happens. If it did, it would bring us down here to the 10,800 level. But other than that, Bitcoin's still seeing some nice follow through after Square purchased $50 million in Bitcoin. So you can see that we are very, very strong, but I'd be cautious of that BART pattern. We did break out of that EQ here on the daily. You can see we were tightening up with a higher low, lower high, higher low, lower high, bull break, and bull seeing nice follow through. We'd like to see increasing bull volume, which looks like we are, so that's a good sign in favor of the bulls as well. But we did lose the 5-minute uptrend, and we're looking to potentially set a 5-minute higher low and higher high here into the end of the day. And we shall see what they can do into the weekend. Taking a look at SPY. So SPY with another gap up open, bulls are in full control. We do have declining bull volume. Mind you, there's still, I'm doing this video a little early, so there's still about an hour and 20 minutes left in the trading day, but we could exceed the volume of yesterday, but definitely dropping off there. And as we know, we don't need huge volume for SPY to go up, but could be setting the weekly lower high anytime. That's all I would expect on this bounce, but we do have an uptrend line here that we can follow as well. So if we close below that line, that'll be our first heads up. And also on the hourly, this could be a potential bull flag. We almost retraced back to the 50% mark on the Fibonacci levels, so it's probably less likely in my opinion now, but we still have about 22 minutes left of this candle, and you can see we are in a 5-minute downtrend. with lower highs and lower lows. Bulls tried to attempt a reversal there, but we are rejecting here at EMA 12 going into the end of the day. Apple basically just slow grind up and going sideways. We'll see if there's any profit taking into the weekend, but again, Apple has just been a magnet to the 116 level. And let's take a look at Tesla. I guarantee you, yeah, 430. So between Tesla and Apple, they've been pinning those two names very, very hard. And I personally think that the more that tech doesn't run this time and SPY keeps going up, the more that we could potentially be seeing a bull trap in the markets, because it was tech driving this whole rally in the first place. And if tech isn't, you know, if tech isn't there for the ride and they aren't in the same, you know, if they're not seeing the same excitement level that the SPY bulls are seeing, then we know that the SPY bulls aren't going to get very far without the help of QQQ bulls. And we could potentially still be setting weekly lower highs. I know I've said this a few times now, but essentially until we negate these bear flags on Apple, Facebook, we got bear flags on Google on the weekly. Until we negate those and the weekly head and shoulders on Amazon and Microsoft, I'm going to remain skeptical of the tech sector and just make sure to be cautious when playing bullish, because right now I am long MJ. I did trim some of my MJ. I added more to a SPY short. So I was up about 30% on Canopy Growth. I was up about 15% on Hexo, and I was up about 22% on C-Web, Charlotte's Web. So I sold those to buy SPY here around the 346.75 level, I think it was I bought it at. So seeing a little bit of bear follow through here into the end of the day. We'll see if we potentially get a hourly bull flag. I highly doubt it now with the amount of this pullback. And there we go. Definitely not a bull flag anymore. Nope. So we'll see if we get much follow through, but we're just looking for an hourly higher low. You can see that we are in an hourly uptrend. Last hourly higher low was down here at 344.89. So most important short-term support. Bears getting a little bit more follow through here. Looks like the volume is picking up. Let's take a look at QQQ on the daily. So QQQ, another gap up open. No resistance all the way up until the all-time highs at 303 on the daily. So that is notable. Same with SPY. SPY has a lot less percentage to go though to get to that high. QQQ would have to jump over 6%, and SPY I think is only about 3% away, 3.5%. So dollar bears are just all over this right now. So we're looking for a higher low on the daily compared to this last support here of 92.75. We did technically change the daily trend with a lower high and lower low, so we are in a daily downtrend, but most important support on the daily right now is 92.75. And wouldn't be surprised to see a little bit more follow through on the bear side with the dollar, as we can see metals are breaking out. And the daily close on this candle for gold is going to be extremely important in my opinion, because we haven't closed above this line in quite some time since the all-time high, and we could potentially pull back into this descending triangle pattern, or we could negate it here. What I would like to see is close above and then a back test to confirm support, and then enter on that higher low or that back test, however it happens, how quickly it happens, and then go bullish from there and be confident that we have that confirmation. So definitely one play that I'm keeping an eye on in gold. Oil seeing a little bit of a pullback here. We'll see how we close the day on oil. We did close above this downward resistance line on oil, so that is bullish for oil bulls. You can see we are seeing volume ramp up into the end of the day, and could potentially be a hourly bear flag playing out on US oil. that's pretty much all I had for you guys today. Let's take a look at XLV, the healthcare sector. I do know, yeah, real estate was down today. Let's take a look at the home builders ETF, also down. So that's notable. Everything else is up, and the real estate sector seems to be down. Financial sector down, energy sector down, biotech sector up. And as you can see, metals are up big today. So not seeing all sectors move in one direction. Semiconductors, basically a doji, indecision on the daily. IWM with pulling back here from the high of the day, but did set a new, well, we are getting pretty close to the all-time high here, about 4% away. So we'll see if IWM bulls can get back up to the all-time highs into the end of the day. I highly doubt that very much. We are approaching daily overbought as well, so that will be something to be mindful of as well. But you can see that gold bulls are picking up steam here into the end of the day. Just set a new high of the day. 1929.31 was the previous high. That's pretty much all I had for you guys today. Like I said, I trimmed some CGC this morning on that gap up, and I didn't sell pre-market, and I've sold here on the next chance on the bounce. Sold Hexo, sold C-Web. I also sold some APHA, so I didn't sell all of my holdings, but I sold a majority, and like I said, I was up 20, 30, 15% on those names. So just looking for them to cool off on the daily. You can see that CGC is starting to cool down here, and we've seen a higher low every day, every candle, and we've since bounced, like I said, 35%. So we do know that bulls can definitely keep this show on the road, but we would expect some healthy consolidation here in the not too distant future. And taking a look at CGC on the weekly, it's going to be extremely important if we can close with the, I'd like to see the MACD cross bullish here. It's not quite crossed entirely, so I'd like to see that cross into the weekend, but definitely looking good for a swing. And we are well above the 50-day moving average, the 200-day, and the 100. So that is notable as well. Just crushed through it like nobody's business. And just taking a quick look at SPY, well above the 50. So we basically had an inverse head and shoulders here on the daily that saw follow through. I believe I mentioned that a couple of videos ago. And again, the MACD hasn't quite curled entirely bullish on SPY, so I'd be a little bit careful in terms of long entries. And the stochastic hasn't quite crossed yet, but we did cross through the 10-week moving average, and we are above that into the weekend. So definitely looking more positive for the bulls into the weekend and into next week. We'll continue to monitor Trump's health, as there was reports that he was coughing and just not himself, and basically acting out of fear and potentially just doing everything he can into this election. He knows he's behind, so we'll see if there's any change in health for Trump, and we'll continue to monitor the stimulus talks into the weekend. And we shall talk to you guys on Tuesday, since it's a holiday on Monday. I may do a video, we'll see. I'm also traveling, so we'll see how it goes. Have a great weekend, everybody, and we'll talk to you very soon.